to the Fantasy Footballers Podcast with your hosts, Andy Holloway, Jason Moore, and Mike Wright.
Welcome in. Tuesday, July 15th. The Fantasy Footballers back with you once again. Mock draft episode today. Mike Wright, Jason Moore. I'm Andy Holloway. Here we are. Halfway through the divisional breakdown shows. We're going to take a little break today, jump back into the mock draft landscape, and see how we feel. It will be we each have our own team today, and then we have members of the footballer staff and writing staff all live and with us for the mock draft. So you'll get to see what happens.
A crack squad, right? Isn't that what we determined?
Could be.
Yeah, it was,
years ago.
That was a bit at one time.
So that's on the agenda today. We do have some news to catch you up on. There have been a number of changes and tweaks and adjustments to our 2025 season projections in the Ultimate Draft Kit, which you can find at ultimatedraftkit.com. Those things are changing every day as we get more information, news, and kind of understand more and more about these teams, which is what this offseason is all about. You can watch the show on YouTube, youtube.com/thefantasyfootballers. Please go over there, subscribe, click the bell. Easy way to catch every episode.
And you can see the draft board.
Yes. On a show like today's, it is nice to be able to see everybody's team.
And what Mike's saying is that if you click subscribe and hit the bell, then you can see the draft board. So if you're wanting to see that, if you're on YouTube, make sure you click subscribe.
Yeah, of course.
We've got it blocked if you don't have that bell turned on.
But when you click it, it does go into
You're
the
going to
peripheral
love the
vision.
draft board.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. You can follow us on X at the FF Ballers. Jason is at JasonFFL. Mike at FF Hitman. I'm at Andy Holloway. We've got the free Discord community, ballersdiscord.com, if you want to become a part of that. I think it's approaching 60,000 strong over there. And, of course, if you're listening, which the majority of you do, make sure you click that follow button for the season on Spotify and Apple. No quick question of the day because we got, unfortunately, some news to talk about.
News and notes from around the league.
Well, everybody's least favorite offseason updates. Browns rookie running back Quinshon Judkins has been charged with misdemeanor domestic battery in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. And by the time you're listening to this, a lot of news has come out, a lot of information. Police report is public.
Mm-hmm.
And, I mean, obviously, horrible situation. Quinshon Judkins is a player we've talked about in the landscape of fellow rookie running backs with upside and potential. And I think on a recent show we talked about how his path was the cleanest, compared to Hampton with Najee and Henderson with Ramondre. And
especially for week one. Like we were talking specifically about the fact that his path for week one being the starter appeared to be kind of locked in. There were some reports recently of Jerome Ford might start. This is obviously going to change everything. The normal suspension timeline for this is 6 games. It can change up or lower, and they will let this play out. We don't know if he's going to go on the NFI list for sure yet.
The commissioner's list?
Yeah, the commissioner's list. But this drastically changes his outlook.
Yeah, I mean, this is a huge blow to the Browns. They barely brought back Jerome Ford. I mean, that was a take a pay cut and come back here. He was, they got rid of Nick Chubb.
I think it was they were going to keep one of them.
Yeah, but I mean, it wasn't like Ford was the future, obviously. And Dylan Sampson was another rookie they drafted, 4th-round pick. Maybe thrust into an opportunity. Pierre Strong is still there. To me, we've all made adjustments based on the minimal amount of news that we have. We don't know how the NFL discipline side or the actual, civil and criminal side are going to play out. But you got to make the adjustments.
Yep.
And 6 is the standard minimum for this type of situation. And it could be more. And to me, I also factored in, well, now you might be on the commissioner's list to miss camp. You might miss 6 games, and then how soon does the team trust you to be their running back? I mean, yes, you're part of their future, but how quick does that happen, and what does that do to fantasy? And right now it puts Judkins in a pretty undraftable spot.
It's a disastrous start.
Yeah, and it also obviously has the exact antithetical happening for Jerome Ford. Like, he's a late-round pick that I don't expect him to fly up draft boards even if a known suspension is announced to where he's too costly. But if he comes out as the starter kind of alone or with that 4th-round rookie there, then he'll have a lot of value, especially in your 0 RB leagues.
Yeah, I would expect to see, you look at the first 4 games that Ford played last year, and that's probably your blueprint for Jerome Ford production. He was RB 13, 35, 28, 23. The team will have some combination of bad quarterback play. Also, first 4 games are brutal. We just went over this with Cleveland. So you got really tough matchups. You do have Dylan Sampson there. They're only favored in 1 game the entire year, so it's not a great situation for any running back. So that's why you were looking for volume. You were hoping Judkins was your guy because you would get maybe 20 opportunities a game, and now that's all thrown by the wayside, and we'll just listen to more news and reports to find out what to do next.
Ford is interesting. The schedule cannot be argued with, but like he is, if you're looking at just his numbers when he was the guy, I mean, he's getting tons of targets. The last couple of weeks when, you had Chubb re-injured himself again last year, and we're down to Jerome Ford. Like back-to-back weeks, he had a 60-plus yard run. So like he's a guy that, with all the volume, now I'm not saying he's going to be a top 12 guy or anything like that, but he will be a playable guy, especially if you're in a half or full PPR.
Yeah, I mean, to his credit, whenever he was called upon, he put up 4 or 5.4 yards a carry on the year, 5.2 in those first 4 games when he started, and we'll see where that goes. Also had, we don't go many days without some sort of wide receiver news in San Francisco. ESPN's Adam Schefter reporting 49ers wide receiver Juwan Jennings is seeking a new contract or a trade before the start of the season.
This dude looked down at his deck of cards. He's like,
I will never be more valuable than right now.
I think I'm holding more cards right now, and I'm going for it.
I'm going to push my chips in.
So, hey, congratulations, Jennings.
I mean, they really, really need him.
Yes,
with
they
Deebo
really
Samuel gone and Brandon Ayuk still recovering from his injury. I mean, obviously they do have Ricky Pearsall and Cowing that they hope.
Do you think this news came, like, did this get pushed forward, the cards in, right after Demarcus Robinson?
Absolutely.
Demarcus Robinson's like going to get a suspension, and now you're like, oh, I could leave you like butt naked at wide receiver, basically.
Yeah. Like if Robinson will be suspended, Ayuk, I'm going to be shocked if he doesn't start on the PUP. And so then you're talking, you're starting wide receivers in week 1 of a year when you will yet again have playoff hopes.
He signed a 2-year.
Ricky Pearsall.
He signed a 2-year, $15.39 million contract last year.
Yeah,
Jennings did. So
he wants a raise now.
He's 28 years old, and it was his most productive season in his 4th year. And the schedule's great for San Francisco, but they will need somebody to catch the football. George Kittle.
Oh, Kittle.
George
Kittle is looking
and
like
CMC.
Such a good pick. Oh, what? Who?
I mean, come on.
Your player you're going to draft on this
today,
episode.
guys, so obviously my
Mike's
first
never been
pick.
able to play underdog CMC before, but from the 7th spot or whatever. For goodness sakes, if you draft him again, I swear.
Don't let him fall to 10.
Oh, gosh, I'm going to have to take him. All right. What else do we have? Trey Harris, wide receiver for the Chargers, has not reported. 30 of 32 second-round NFL draft picks are unsigned because of disagreements over guaranteed money. One of the ones they did sign was Jaden Higgins for the Houston Texans, who did get a guaranteed contract.
And that's why everyone else is like, oh, he got one fully guaranteed. I want mine. And so everybody's holding out. Some players.
You ever seen a situation where they wait and has benefited the team?
No, I don't.
I mean, outside of like a catastrophic injury or something stupid like that.
Especially with a rookie, you mean?
Yeah, or just any of these guys like the Jamar Chase delay. We waited a year on Jamar Chase or T. Higgins. Cost them more money.
It usually, you look at the best run franchises, look at the Eagles coming off their Super Bowl. They are always out ahead of these new contract extensions and signing people to what looks big. But when you're first there, then it, as time goes on and caps increase, you're just ahead of the game.
And then we did get one more report on the ever elusive, but hopefully eventually arriving Kyren Williams contract extension. The Athletic reporting it could be worked out by the end of training camp, but notes that the Rams will not pay top market money for a running back. Those seem a little antithetical.
Well, I get it. I mean, they went through this with Todd Gurley once, but she also reported that the normal Rams time where they do extensions is in training camp. So even though there's been all this, like, where's this deal? Where's this deal? Where's this deal? It's being reported like, hey, normally that's going to come during training camp, which is not here yet.
It's so weird.
Yeah, but if that's the case and they're not going to pay top market money, there's a world where Kyren wants that. You don't.
Sure.
Like they made a horrific mistake with Gurley.
Yeah.
So the fact that they were there with Gurley doesn't set a precedent for their future signings. It's just like I wouldn't pay Kyren top dollar either.
I wouldn't either.
I think he understands.
It's going to be a shorter deal then.
And I think he understands his value, which re-signing with the Rams, it's got to be his best case scenario of, like, you're still playing for Super Bowls, you're going to get that generational money, put that in the bank.
I don't know.
And I don't understand this. We wait until training camp. Like,
if you're 24-year-old Kyren and you're not getting the money you think you deserve, this is your only contract. That's my only pushback on that. I think they'll get a deal done. They like one another. But if I'm 24.8 years old, this is my only elite running back contract, and if they're taking $10 million of guaranteed money off the table that I get in the open market, that's where push comes to shove in these.
I guess the question is, what do you think you could get on the open market?
Yeah. Right. That's what I'm saying.
I don't think Kyren is going to get, as the quote says, top market money for a running back. I don't believe that that's what his open market value would be.
I think he at 24. I think he might, but we'll probably see a contract done in some fashion. Maybe it'll be shorter. Maybe he'll feel like he can cash in again. I don't know. Any other news that you guys have? Anything you want to talk about?
No.
Any personal news, Jason? Anything you've been wanting to share with the audience?
I'm gonna dig deep.
I don't have anything on you. I'm just asking.
Okay. Yeah.
There's Jason. Isn't there something you want to
say? No, not today, parent. I know that trick.
Yeah, there's I don't know if you shared that on Spitballers or on this show at one point in time, but when you were a child, your parents pulled that on you and said,
"Oh yeah, I was on the top bunk. They came in,
Yeah.
hands behind their back. Is there something you want to admit?"
Oh man,
and I admitted to something so much bigger than the little broken thing that I had thrown in the garbage that was behind their backs. I'm like, I broke the front window, and they're like, "That was you." Yeah, I'm not falling for that trick anymore.
Why don't you just tell me what you think I did?
Oh man.
Oh, that's too good. All right, it is.
Plead the fifth.
Yeah, seriously. You.
I'd like to use my constitutional right, please.
Yes, Mom, Dad. I invoke the fifth.
All right, we are done with the news, but we've got a mock draft, and it's on the way right now.
The Fantasy Footballers Mock Draft.
All right, today, 12-team half PPR mock draft, 1 quarterback, 2 running backs, 2 wide receivers, a tight end, a flex, and 4 bench. We have the full crew here. Jason ended up with the 2 spot. I've got the 8 spot, Mike at the 10 spot in our randomly selected mock draft. We've also got Al Borland in here. We got Jake, Josh, Papa Josh himself, the Falcon, Julia, one of our editorial staff, Kurt, one of our writers. We got Brooksy here at pick 9. We got Borg and Betts wrapping up the 11 and 12, probably with just sole focus of ruining Mike on the way back.
That would be nice.
They can't take McCaffrey from me.
They can't. No. And the fact that I'm going to be staring that stupid decision down potentially or having you draft McCaffrey for the 1,000th time is great. All right, so we're going to kick this thing off right now. Number 1 pick off the board. Al Borland took Jamar Chase. That puts Jason on the clock.
Yeah, Chase would have been the easy pick for me as well if I was at the first spot. After him, I feel like there's a tier break to those next great wide receivers. I'm going to take the best running back. I'm going to take The only indestructible
17
one.
game Bijan Robinson.
I will take the indestructible Bijan Robinson. He is my running back one as far as just statistical projection, but I also think he is on the safer side of most of the running backs, and so he would always be my number 2 pick.
I caught that. That was kind of like a little softening of the proclamation. The softer, the
Well,
safer side. The safer side.
He has far fewer red and yellow flags than a lot of the other top running backs, but he is playing 17.
Oh, we all agree. We all agree in the grand scheme of risk.
Christian McCaffrey, through his first 3 years, was an Iron Man. Heading into year 4, you would have been like, he's the safest, most indestructible running back there is.
Yeah. I wasn't. I
You
didn't
are
say that.
until you aren't.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's football. All right. Bijan goes 102, and look at that. CMC goes at 103. Jake takes him off the board, probably wants the attention. Well, you got it. Justin Jefferson at the 104, CeeDee Lamb at 105. So if you noticed, no Saquon. No Saquon off the board through the first 5 picks. Gibbs goes ahead of Saquon at 106. And Saquon off the board at 107, which would have made my life really easy at 108.
Yeah, I'll bet you were watching that whole way down thinking, no way Barkley's going to get to me here at the 108, and he didn't.
Yeah, so that puts me on the clock at 108 with, 3 wide receivers off the board, 4 running backs, and a decision to make. We were talking earlier today in the office about, Saquon, about Henry. You had made some tweaks to Henry's rankings. I've got Henry and Achane right next to each other in the ranks. Genty still on the board. Kind of a slip, I think, in the tiers at wide receiver, with Chase Jefferson and Lamb off the board, and then I'd have to jump into Amon-Ra or Puka, Neighbors, some of those guys, maybe
Jump on
AJ
in, brother.
Brown. I think I'm going to pull the trigger on Derrick Henry in this one.
Okay.
I'm going to give him a shot here. I like the upside of Achane, but
You've upset Brooks.
He still makes me nervous. Al Brooks, are you disappointed? You upset? Okay. He put some exclamation points in there. He's upset. So Derrick,
Brooks, you foul mouth.
yes, you dirty dog.
Exclamation points?
Yeah.
Don't yell
Some
at us.
capital letters as well. All right. Derrick Henry, I took him at 108, and Amon-Ra St. Brown, he pivoted away from running back altogether, putting Mike on the clock for the first time in the first round of the entire offseason where he can't draft Christian McCaffrey.
It's a beautiful day.
It's
really
for the best, guys. It's truly for the best.
Isaac Garindo.
So, yeah, I've never believed in that Christian McCaffrey guy is getting hurt. So for me, it would come down to Puka, who I think is still I think he is a strong wide receiver one, not Jamar Chase, Jefferson, Lamb tiered, but if you want to call him in that next tier, I have no problem with that. And then at running back,
so just to be clear, he's a big step ahead of the Amon-Ra decision there, where
he is for me. Yeah,
been number 3 the last 2 years.
Yeah, no, and I mean Amon-Ra's in the same tier as Puka.
I more just wanted to hear you talk through that.
Okay, but I'm gonna take the rookie superstar. I'm gonna take Ashton Genty.
Genty off the board at 110. So we're a 12-team league. Borgen Betts on the clock. Achane goes 111. Puka at 112. And, Amon-Ra went right before you, so my discussion with you was completely...
Yeah,
you guys just brushed that off, huh?
Well, I thought you were just asking if I would have...
Could have just called me an idiot.
Sometimes things don't need to be said, you know?
All right, well, since Amon-Ra was gone, you went with Genty.
That is correct.
Puka ended the round. Nico Collins. So the Puka-Nico stack at the end of the first round, beginning of the second for Betsy.
Betts is a 0 RB fiend. That's all he wants to draft.
Look, those two on the board there, I would be...
That's an awesome start.
Yeah, it's the place to do it.
If Genty was still sitting there or Achane, I probably wouldn't, but it does seem like that's pretty perfect. Drake London goes at 202 to pair with Achane, putting Mike back on the clock. Genty was the first round selection. And now it's your turn.
I thought you were throwing to our sponsors.
Oh, would you want me to do that here?
Yeah.
Did that? Was that good?
You psyched me out, man.
Get enough time?
I don't feel like I really put the ball in the tee at all for the sponsors.
Well, but the producers were telling you.
Oh, okay. All right.
I'm paying attention.
Look,
producers.
I work it in when I want to.
Okay. All right. That's fair. So I'm going to look at the running backs. You got Bucky, Jacobs, Kyron, that type of a tier.
Your boy Chase Brown.
Chase Brown is there. I do love Chase Brown. But Malik Neighbors and Brian Thomas are there, one of the true budding superstars at the wide receiver position. I have Brian Thomas one spot ahead of Malik. That doesn't mean I'm like, oh my gosh, Brian Thomas is such a better pick. They're very, very close. But for this build, I'm just going to follow the rankings, and I will take Brian Thomas.
So Genty and Brian Thomas Jr., that puts Brooks back on the clock, took Amon-Ra in the first round of this mock draft. And goes Brock Bowers. Goes Brock Bowers with the second round selection.
Interesting.
Grabbing a positional advantage. I have Derrick Henry.
Let's see how that works out for Brooks.
This seems like a really good time to announce an adjustment to my rankings. Because
is this an announcement for being Jason too?
Well, yeah, I don't think you guys know that I've moved this guy to where I've moved him, and he's going to be my pick. And it's wide receiver A.J. Brown.
You're going. Okay.
A.J. Brown is now my wide receiver 6.
That was my dream to get at the 211 because I've seen him fall to near that spot. A.J. Brown is a wonderful pick there, Andy.
So I went Brown, and in having one running back, one wide receiver with a long wait after my pick gives me more flexibility in the next round. I could have gone Jacobs. Jacobs would have been a nice pairing with Henry, but went A.J. Brown with Henry. Neighbors goes next. Chase Brown off the board along with Bucky Irving. They're in the middle of the second round.
If you take Gibbs and Chase Brown, is that a high T team?
No.
Okay.
No.
I didn't think it was.
That's like a double lightning team.
Just saying.
Right?
You are not.
That's not Sonic and Knuckles. That's Knuckles and Knuckles, right?
No. It's
Sonic and Sonic. Yeah. Bucky Irving, Ladd McConkey, Jackson Smith and Jigba. Jason, you've got Bijan, so you know you won't need any depth at running back because he'll be there all 17.
That is true.
So
I'll need one more. We're going to start 2 running backs.
Oh, that's fair.
I don't mind playing hero RB where you take a stud like that and then don't get running backs for a while. I think that's a good strategy if you can get your hands on Bijan. The issue I have with that is that right now when I look at the wide receivers that are available, Tyreek Hill, I'm more out on him. I have a lot of worries about what he put on film last year than some people do. T. Higgins, I absolutely love. I like Marvin Harrison to have a big growth year, but those guys aren't like set apart. They're not that different to me. When I look at the running back position, I see 3 guys there in Josh Jacobs, Jonathan Taylor, and Kyron Williams that I think are better. I think they are just better options and going to score more points. So I will go by my personal rankings, and I'm going to take Jonathan Taylor, who I adore. I think he is one of the 5 best real-life running backs, and what we saw at the end of last season was just a demolishing of NFL fields by his feet, and so I will continue to believe in him.
So the defenses were fine, but the fields got beat up.
Fields were wrecked, man.
I actually moved Taylor up a little bit today as well, so he was one of the guys that moved up. I like the pick. Jacobs goes next to Green Bay fan Al Borland. Probably pleased to find Josh Jacobs sitting at 212. And then goes Trey McBride in honor of both the trophy that Trey McBride won him last year and also who doesn't want Trey McBride?
I would have liked him on my team.
That's delightful. Chase, Jacobs, McBride, Jason back on the clock, Bijan and Jonathan Taylor.
Yeah, by the same logic, I do still have Kyron ahead. However, I don't want to start near a turn with 3 running backs, have no wide receivers.
Just because of like no courage or it's like weak need, I
think
guess.
Wisdom is kind of what I'm going for. All right. I'm going to take T. Higgins, who is very, very high in my own rankings. I see him as a wide receiver 1 this year alongside Chase. Obviously, he needs to stay on the field. That is his issue. So I think I've got the yin and yang here with Bijan and T. Higgins. You know what I mean? I'm sure Bijan plays the season. I have no belief in T. Higgins.
It's funny because you put Bijan with a couple of guys that are always hurt. So
yeah,
it's totally different guys. Garrett Wilson goes next. Kyron off the board at 304. You like that value? Papa Josh, Kyron Williams, 304. Marvin Harrison, Devontae Adams, and Tyreek Hill. So we've got 5 wideouts here in the or 6 pass catchers, 5 wideouts here in the 3rd round. Puts me back on the clock. I had a really long, beautiful queue of players that I wanted. It is down to 2 names after the beginning of this round, so nobody really doing anything too wild. But I have Henry and Brown, and look, I'm gonna do something that you guys also won't see coming. Much like AJ Brown, I'm going to take Rashee Rice. I'm taking Rashee Rice.
You are correct.
At the 3.
I thought that was my easy pick.
Yes. I thought you thought that.
Have you been changing?
I'm more open-minded a little bit to kind of a higher ceiling season for Rashee Rice. It was a small and beautiful sample size last year. But I do think 100% healthy Rashee Rice, it's time to get on board. So I'll go Rashee Rice with A.J. Brown and Derrick Henry. Brooks went with Breece Hall next. Breece Hall, let me just put this out here. He's the pick I never want to have to make. I realize this.
Yeah.
Now. He's the pick that I don't want to ever slip to where I think he's a value because I don't want to take him.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe he'll be good. But I'm so terrified of him falling to me and me feeling a pressure to take him.
He's got a glorious name. I mean, Breece Hall, what he did in his sophomore season was, one for the Heralds.
Breaking news.
Adam Schefter reporting, boys.
Oh, no.
No, this one's good.
Oh,
The Jets have reached an extension agreement with wide receiver Garrett Wilson, a 4-year, $130 million extension, $90 million guaranteed. It marks the first time in NFL history a receiver has received an average over $31 million after only playing for 3 years.
Wow.
That's some caveats right there.
Yeah.
It makes him sound like he's got the most money
Honestly,
of all wide
if I had
receivers.
time to read it in my head before I was reading it, I would have just left that part out.
Right?
I thought I was like, oh, we're getting something cool about how much money he's making. Yeah, no.
Yeah, just 4 players who have only played 3 years.
Wow, that's big news, though.
Ron Burgundy.
All you got to do is get Aaron out of town, and the dude wants to stay.
Yep.
And money does that, too. I was really afraid when you said the Jets that you were going to say something about Breece.
Oh,
I was like,
that would have been amazing.
The timing. All right, you're on the clock, Mike. No Rashee Rice available for you.
Which that is a bummer because then when you look at the wide receiver positions, McLaurin, Evans, DJ Moore, Sutton, Metcalf, those guys are not as exciting to me. Just speaking of trying to find what their ceiling is, the running back room, yeah, I think it's still got enough interesting names for me to take George Kittle here at the back of the 3rd round. I mean, if Juwan Jennings wants to skip any time in camp, okay. Doesn't bother me if I got George Kittle on my team.
So Kittle was the other name that I had to decide between Rice and Kittle. So I had some dreams that maybe he'd fall through, but not even close. Mike ends up Genty, Brian Thomas Jr., and George Kittle. Kyle goes with Evans next, then Josh Allen off the board as the first quarterback, Omarion Hampton as the first running back for Betsy's team, and Lamar Jackson off the board to Kyle. Doesn't want to get caught at the back end of a quarterback run, it looks like, because he's got a long wait ahead of him. Mike, you are back on the clock with your 4th round pick.
I am, and I was hoping that I would get one of the running backs who I fancied at this point. You're talking James Cook, Kenneth Walker, Alvin Kamara, Joe Mixon. I think all those guys as a running back 2 in the 4th, that's some good value. I believe I have James Cook technically a couple spots higher, but come on, guys. The heart wants what the heart wants.
Kenbone
Walker will be on my team. And for the love of God, man, just come on.
Stay healthy.
Do some yoga. Take some peptides. Whatever you got to do, man. Just stay healthy, please.
Wow.
Drink some milk.
Yeah.
Ken Walker. Ken Walker is he's got all the talent in the world.
He's so good.
He's the T. Higgins of running backs.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, I think
I've got a type of player I really like.
Yeah.
Yeah, you do.
Really good on the field, not always there.
Yeah.
Not always on the field. Yeah, it's tough. I'm looking at the board right now. It's my pick, Henry, A.J. Brown, and Rashee Rice on my team. Kittle's gone. I figured you'd take Ken Walker over Joe Mixon. So Joe Mixon is on the short list right here. I could go quarterback, but I don't think I'm going to do that. I think I want to build this team, 12-team league, stay with the positions I need more depth. It's a little hairy going Henry Mixon as a combo. A little bit aged.
You Mixon over Kamara for you?
Well, that's what I'm looking. I see Kamara there, and I see James Cook still there. And I'm checking my rankings here to verify anything from this morning, and James Cook is still back behind Joe Mixon. So it feels like that's the pick, but the button click is slower than I thought it'd be. Joe Mixon at 405.
Oh no!
Starting to cool your jets on.
I'm not cooling my. It's the Henry Mixon combo, really. It's the
just the age.
Yeah, because both players have the potential. Like both players, it's come into an end, and it shouldn't be this year. But I like Mixon over a guy like Ken Walker because I like the situation for the team. I like the fact they're going to win more games, be in the red zone. Mixon was so effective last year, was the number one running back through the first 11 weeks. It's just wear down. Like the second half of the year for a Henry Mixon combo could be tough. So, and then you got A.J. Brown, who's also not as young. So I don't have as much. And then Rashee Rice coming off an injury. I got a little bit of a scary team here. Cortland Sutton off the board next. Alvin Kamara goes at 407. Jaden Daniels off the board at 408. Papa Josh finally pulls the trigger on James Cook. And Jalen Hurts goes next to Jake. So, Jason, you are back on the clock with the impervious Bijan and then Jonathan Taylor and T. Higgins.
There's two players here that I want, so I got to look. I'm near the turn, look and see who I think Al Borland might or might not take. But when it comes down to that, it's more about which player I would rather not lose the most, and that would be DK Metcalf. So I will draft DK Metcalf. I've got Bijan and Jonathan Taylor, so T. Higgins and DK Metcalf in the 3rd and 4th round, I think, balance my team out nicely. Joe Burrow was that other player. I know Al had the Chase stack. I had the T. Higgins stack, and I was like, but the thing is if I –
So what happened?
So Al took Joe Burrow after I took DK Metcalf, and he grabbed James Conner as well. So he completed the stack with Jamar Chase. I was tempted to take him there to complete the stack with T. Higgins, but I like a lot of the later quarterbacks, so I'm just going to, at this point, now that the big 3 tight ends are gone and the big 5 quarterbacks, that's to me where I'm focused on running backs and wide receivers for a while, so I'm just going to take whoever I think has the highest upside of that group left. And this might surprise – in fact, I know this will surprise you guys because we haven't talked about him a lot. He's very high in my rankings. I still see a really, really solid, a big improved season coming this year. I think he is the clear one for the team, even though there's a lot of debate, is DJ Moore. DJ Moore is a good wide receiver to have as my 3rd wide receiver in the 5th round. I believe he's my wide receiver 20 right now.
It's funny because Higgins, Metcalf, and DJ Moore are 3 players who there's no question about the talent, and yet all 3 have lived in different places in fantasy players. Like, do they like them? Do they not like them? Does it feel good? Does it not feel good?
I think they're all 3 super talented players who have had success in fantasy that people are burned out with, and so they're all 3 kind of truly undervalued right now in fantasy drafts.
R.J. Harvey goes after DJ Moore here. R.J. Harvey, Isaiah Pacheco, Terry McLaurin, who would have been my pick here in the 5th had he made it that far, Teteroa McMillan, and Jaden Waddle in the middle of the 5th round here. I have Henry Mixon at running back.
Kurt's building the super Dolphin stack. Someone's got to put an end to that.
He does have Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle.
Well, Andy, you are the pick before him, so if you want to take Tua.
Yeah, cool, man.
Speaking of that, the Jason allowing the Burrow Jamar Chase stack to actually connect. If you see that happen on your draft board, that is going to be
there's no way
terrifying.
There's no way he takes DK Metcalf with those 2 picks. Would you have taken DK Metcalf?
If he had taken Burrow?
Yeah.
Yeah, I had 3 players queued up. It was
you
DK,
did? Okay.
Connor, and Burrow.
Okay. I still would rather have him have DK
Man.
Metcalf.
I will say this, Mike.
You ruined the league.
Letting that unleash on the league.
If this was not a mock draft, if this was a real league where I'm going to have to play these teams and I worry about every team in the league, I probably would have avoided that just to stop him from completing that stack, because I know how devastating that stack can be. But I wanted my team to just look the best that my team could look, and I didn't care about other teams.
That's fair.
Let me tell you something. I'm going to say this because I think it is only to my benefit to say it out loud. As the league of record manager with Jamar Chase, it has gone through my mind to take Joe Burrow in the first round of our draft.
Yeah,
that's how much I want the stack, and I feel like I can say it because if that scares anybody, take Burrow. Go do it. I
Someone's
dare you.
making a bad choice
I dare you
either
to
way.
take Burrow early. Like, it doesn't hurt me at all. But I'm going to tell you right now, I'm going to try real hard to do it because that combo will be.
It is devastating.
I mean, that's so much fun. I don't care about the other players.
Yeah.
It's too fun. All right, I'm on the clock, and you know what time it is. It's JMO time. Jamison Williams.
he would not have.
I thought
made
that
it.
was 2 rounds ago.
I know. Thank goodness it wasn't, right? My goodness. Jamison Williams with the 8th pick of the 5th round. Mike, you said he would have been your pick?
Yeah, I would have taken him.
All right. Well, Zay Flowers goes right after him, and Mike, you're back on the clock. Genty and Ken Walker are your running backs. You got Brian Thomas Jr. holding down your wideouts right now with Kittle at tight end.
So, man, I'm just going to peek at the running backs. You're talking Montgomery,
Aaron Jones.
I don't love Aaron Jones. Montgomery wouldn't be that's a nice consolation pick if I end up going running back here. But looking
what
at
about Quinshawn Judkins?
I think that he's going to be missing some time for being a bonehead. Looking at the wide receivers, you got delightful wide receiver 2s for their team in Devontae Smith and George Pickens, and then you got Chris Olave. Goodness gracious,
he's the hardest player in every draft.
The Brees Hall decision I think is really, really difficult. The Chris Olave one is at the wide receiver position.
No, we've been there a bunch of
good
times
player.
where we don't want to take him, but then you do want to take him, but then because you can talk yourself in and out of Olave with ease.
Yeah, I mean, he's an A in consistency in the last 17 games. When he's out on the field, he's always good. He's the clear number 1 for this team. Even with bad quarterback play, he's going to get it, but any concussion at any time could end everything. You know, in our Scotty Fishbowl league.
He's lower in my rankings. It was just if I want him, I would have to take him here.
Yeah. In our Scott Fishbowl league, we did draft Chris Olave. Obviously a risky pick, but when you're trying to beat 1,000 people in a league.
Yeah, you play for upside.
Yeah.
So depending on your team formation, like in this situation, and Mike, you do what you want, obviously, but you're going to have to lean on him more because you took George Kittle in the 3rd round. So from the wide receiver position, Olave and an Olave bet as your wide receiver 2 versus 3, it's a different bet.
Yeah, it really is. I'm going to take the guy who's higher in my rankings, and I know it will make K-Borg upset.
Yes. That's the pick, man.
I will take the ADP chalk right there, and I will take Devonta Smith.
Devonta Smith is a perfect combination. What Andy was just saying, where this is your wide receiver 2, I do not want Olave to be my relied upon wide receiver 2. The upside when you grab him as your 3rd or 4th, fantastic. But if I need to rely on someone week in and week out, Devonta Smith is much better.
So big run of wide receivers here. McLaurin, McMillan, Waddle, Williams, Zay Flowers, Devontae Smith, the Mike, and then George Pickens and Xavier Worthy round out the 5th. We've got Travion Henderson.
Yeah, I was really hoping Henderson would make it back.
Just to be clear, Mr. Betts has Omarion Hampton and Travion Henderson starting the year. There's a very high percentage chance in week 1 when both those teams run out on the field, those guys are sitting on the bench.
There's a chance.
So it's different. Like you take the 2 wide receivers early, you are curious about what kind of work
but you know the ADP of you find guys that you can, like Jerome Ford, that you know you can survive with over the first couple weeks, at least in terms of volume.
So Henderson and then David Montgomery, a good value at 602 there to Kyle. Mike, you are back on the clock. You get the same choice. You get to decide if you want Olave again.
I'm going to do it. I'm going to take Chris Olave, and I'm going to figure out at the end of the draft if I'm happy about that.
It will be after the season or after a couple weeks.
It's a mock draft.
Yeah.
So I want to let's experiment here because he's nowhere near that in my rankings.
Well, in light of the experimentation here, I'm gonna make a pick that I don't think any of the 3 of us have done at all this offseason, but it actually makes sense on my team. I have Derrick Henry and Mixon at running back, A.J. Brown, Jamison Williams, and Rashee Rice at wide receiver. Aaron Jones went right before me. He probably would have been the pick. but I'm actually going to take Patrick Mahomes.
Oh.
I'm going to Mahomes.
Oh, you got the Kansas City
and
stack.
Rashee Rice stack here is not chasing Burrow.
No.
But it is something I'm going to do here with a long wait ahead of me. I want to put Mahomes with Rashee Rice and see if I can catch a little bit of Mahomes magic this year. DeAndre Swift goes next, Jacoby Myers, Caleb Johnson, and then Travis Hunter, Roma Dunze in the 6th round. Jason's on the clock. We'll grab his pick on the way when we get back. All right, Jason, who's been vigorously writing like a studious, what is it, like a clerk at a courtroom, writing down some notes.
I was doing it mostly to distract myself from the picks because I wanted Caleb Johnson so bad that I knew
you didn't
I
want
needed
to cry on air.
Exactly. I knew I needed to have.
Did you get him?
Other options? No, I didn't. The Falcon is a toilet and grabbed Caleb Johnson, unfortunately. So that leaves me at a place where
your math did nothing in your notes over there got you what you needed with Caleb Johnson.
They didn't. I thought if I just kept writing,
right,
somehow he'd slip to me, but it does. It just turns out that makes no sense. So I'm here. If I look now that we're into the, I'm at the 6-7 turn. I can peek at the tight end, see if there's any I love. There's not. I mean, Hawkinson would definitely be in consideration, but if I were to grab him. Owl already has McBride. I would do that with my next pick. At the quarterback position, I love Bo Nix, but I like Kyler. I like Brock Purdy. I like a lot of these guys. Baker Mayfield. I'm not too worried about either of those. So I just want to keep building depth, whether that's at running back or at wide receiver. And right now I'm going to take the guy that I think is best for my team. I've got 2 running backs, 3 wide receivers. So I'm going to look to the running back position. And I'm going to take a very sad consolation prize from Caleb. I really wish it was Caleb. I'm going to take Tony Pollard. I still believe that he will get the majority of work, and I think Cam Ward changes that offense to not be putrid. They are one of the teams, like when you look at the teams who are going to turn things around in a drastic way, it's almost always the quarterback. And so this year, who's it going to be? Maybe it's the Bears and Caleb Williams gets it together, but maybe it's the number 1 pick overall in the draft.
That's a nice way to spin it. You know that if somebody came running out of the locker room and you thought it was going to be Caleb Johnson and Tony Pollard came running out in his place, you wouldn't feel very good.
No, I wouldn't.
Godwin and Ridley go next to Al Borland, goes back-to-back wideouts. Those guys will run alongside Jamar Chase for him. Jason, you're back on the clock, though. You can take Tajay Spears if you want to go Titan.
Ooh, that
lock it up, man.
Fun.
I'll let you play them both in one spot.
You will?
Yeah, I'll allow it.
I'm going to go ahead and grab Hawkinson. I think of the tight ends that are left, I don't want to play the Travis Kelce experience. Jonnu Smith is dead as a Steeler. Evan Ingram, I don't believe. Mark Andrews is toast. So
you've been really anti-Ingram, and that's probably a good balance here on the show, so that no one overinvests in Evan Ingram.
No Laporta there?
No doubt that I have no doubt that he is involved and gets a lot of targets, but I have doubt that he gets 8 yards of reception. He just has been such a worthless efficiency guy this, the last recent memory that I think the Broncos can do better than Evan Ingram.
Yeah, it's a different prototype of tight end for your team. It can be very nice to have the PPR numbers, but you're not getting the big games and the touchdowns as often. Hawkinson and Laporta do go back-to-back. Laporta would have been my target here in the 7th round. Judy, Pearsall, Addison. Pearsall pick. Pretty sneaky there.
I was between Hawkinson and Pearsall. That was my decision.
Sneaky pick. Addison and then Bo Nix off the board to Kurt, putting me back on the clock. I'm going to go Jaden Reed. I'm going to take Jaden Reed here in the 7th round, who I still think has some undiscovered upside in Green Bay.
He should. Like, he really should. It's a maddening
you
situation.
go watch the film of Jaden Reed, and it blows you away.
He is a very talented wide receiver who they just don't want to play all the time.
Well, Mike, you are back on the clock. Chris Olave, your most recent selection.
Man.
You're here in the 7th round.
And so, quarterback, there's no one really exciting there. I got my tight end position is held down by George Kittle. So just, looking at guys, I know ADP certainly starting to matter less and less, especially that we're drafting with all live people here. So I'm just going to take a player I want to get on my team. I'm going to take Josh Downs. I know he's my wide receiver 4, but you got to build up some depth, and I think he has a chance to have a really special year.
Oh, come on, Kyle. All right, Kyle took Travis Kelce.
Oh,
at
you wanted
7-11.
the Mahomes super duper stack?
I actually passed on Kelce at the Jaden Reed pick, figuring I could get him in the 8th and do the Mahomes, Kelce, Rashi stack. But no, Kyle had to fight for Kelce. Good pick, Mike, with Downs. I like that one there in the 7th. I think you're right. At this point, you got to throw ADP more out the window and take the guys you like. Jalen Warren finishes the 7th round. Brian Robinson. So he got his flashy, Hampton and Henderson. And then he went his trashy, Brian Robinson and Jalen Warren, who will get the job done in those first few weeks. Like
sure.
Play those guys and then flip over to the other guys halfway through. I like it. Flashy and trashy. All right, Diggs goes at 8:02. Mike, you're back on the clock. 3 wide receivers in a row.
Yeah.
You and I both sitting with just 2 running backs right now.
Yeah, so that is exactly where I'm looking. I just deciding how much.
Don't look too long. It's not nice out there.
No, I know. We're at the point now. Do you want to take the projected starter for week 1, and who even knows if they will hold on to the job? Who knows even when they're a starter if they'll do anything good? You're talking, Tyron Tracy, Najee, ETN, Ramondre. Javonte it still is interesting to me having the Dallas Cowboys situation.
I'd love you to have him.
I am. I don't think I'm going to do that. I'm going to jump. I'm going to scroll way down here, and I'm looking at Scadaboo and J.K. Dobbins right now. Of who do I think is in actuality will Scadaboo take the job from Tracy? The draft capital says maybe. But it's not a for sure. And then J.K. Dobbins with all the reports of is he actually going to be the starter?
And this is your third running back.
This is my third running back. But assuming health, I have 2 higher profile guys, so I'm not worried about that.
Yeah, you got to presume health with Ken Walker.
Yes, you do.
Yeah.
Yes, you do,
Oh,
Jason. So I'm gonna buy the Denver report a little bit more at this point. I'm gonna take Dobbins.
Mike didn't like one bit of that pick right there.
I think it was the right pick for your team versus him versus Cam Scadaboo. Scadaboo could just be absolutely nothing this year.
Yeah, he could.
So Mike went Dobbins. Keon Coleman went next.
I think he's good, man. I think Cam Scadaboo
I do
good.
too.
I think he does take the job.
I wouldn't take J.K. Dobbins over Cam Scadaboo in every situation. I was saying with you having 2 running backs, one of which is Kenneth Walker, that's where
paper mache.
Yeah, that's where I worry about.
Well, I took Jerome Ford at the 8:05.
I get it.
So I don't like what's going on there with Judkins one bit.
I get it.
So I took Ford. Najee goes next. Either of those would have been fine there. Baker, Travis Etienne, Jonnu Smith, and Cooper Kupp. Jason back on the clock. 8th round pick. You will need to get a quarterback in the next 4 picks, but otherwise you're all set to go.
Yeah, I've got 3 running backs, 3 wide receivers, a tight end. So I'm very balanced. I'm just going to try to take whoever I think can make the most impact. And I believe that is a rookie wide receiver who should be starting day 1 on the outside for C.J. Stroud. I'm going to take Jaden Higgins.
That's unfortunate.
Big guy who has perfect opportunity. This is a 2nd-round draft pick. So, yeah.
No, that's a great pick. It was him or Ford. I took Ford, and I regret it now that I don't have Higgins. So good pick. Tracy and Scadaboo.
Wow.
What are you doing?
Oh, that's
That's the
interesting.
only way to get 2 running backs that equal 0.
Yeah.
In New York.
The best
Or
thing
maybe
to
not.
do with a team that projects to be a horrifically bad offense
Get
is
all
just
of them.
get all their
of them.
players.
Yeah, scoop them up. What a great pick. You know what's funny is
I'll let you start them both in the same spot, Jeremy.
What's funny is you're about to take Tajay Spears.
I'm not. No,
Oh, okay.
gross. No, I was going to take Cam Scadaboo. And when I saw him take Tyron Tracy, I was like, oh, heck yeah. So I get Scadaboo. And then he took Scadaboo too, like an idiot.
I'll let it shake out and drop one.
Which actually
Okay.
ended up helping me because I was looking at the 2 running backs I was between. And the heart wants what the heart wants. And
Yeah,
that was Cam
let's go.
Scadaboo. But I knew it wasn't the better pick at running back. I think the better pick is Jordan Mason.
Oh, you dirty dog.
Jordan Mason will get work. If Aaron Jones, the elder statesman, goes down, I think Jordan Mason will be awesome for fantasy. And in the meantime, he will be a usable depth piece. He's not just one of these guys that are a pure insurance option like Trey Benson.
I think it is not an impossible situation that Jordan Mason will be even if they both play the whole season, that Mason ends up with more fantasy points. I think it's possible. And that's like Aaron Jones is like this weird because his value seems like it should be good. He's on the Minnesota Vikings, high-powered offense. I just don't want to draft him.
Garindo goes next, and Javonte, Mike, you don't have to think about that anymore. Ramondre Stevenson, Evan Ingram, and Tyler Warren, back-to-back tight ends here in the 9th round. I'm on the clock. I'm going to pull the trigger on a rookie wide receiver myself, Emeka Egbuka of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in the 9th round. I would have rather Higgins found his way back to me, but he didn't. So, Mike, you're back on the clock. Trey Harris goes directly after Egbuka.
Good pick.
All right, so 3 picks. One of them, I do need to take a quarterback. So let's take a gander over there. So we got, ADP-wise, Goff, Kyler, Herbert, Jordan Love, Brock Purdy. There are still so many quarterbacks.
Yeah.
And the killer bees here on the end, they both took their quarterbacks, so I would be pretty surprised if they double dipped with the talent that is on the board. Ah, man, with 3 spots left, I'm wanting to build some running back depth, and yeah, it's Spears, Charbonnet, Rico. It's not a whole bunch of situations I like, so I'm going to target a high-powered offense. I'm going to take their presumed pass catcher. I'm going to take Austin Eckler.
All right, Eckler goes to Mike in the 9th round. Charbonnet goes next to Kyle. Khalil Shakir falls all the way to 9-12, which is a great value.
Do you guys, in teams which heaven forbid you be forced into it, but were you took Ken Walker, would you have preferred to insure Ken Walker there with Charbonnet in the 9th?
I think on your team I would have.
Yeah,
but I don't mind if you.
Just wondering, are you going to prioritize that situation?
He's one of them.
He is at
clear
least
cut backup.
Yes, I was going to say he's at least one of the very few people that you know for sure. He is the next man up without a doubt. It's not a question of is it him or someone else.
So, but Charbonnet goes right after your pick, Mike. Shakir, Mark Andrews at 10:01. Debo at 10:02. Mike back on the clock. You do need that quarterback.
Yeah, that's where I'm going to look. So I'm going to take a look at the draft board real quick, and we got 1, 2. So we got 3 teams. So there are going to be 6 picks of that. Will at least 3 of them will be quarterbacks. So I'm going to take the guy. Let me just double check on my rankings here. Yep. Jay, you talked about the Scotty Fish Bowl. Did I convince us to take Dak? I think I did. I don't remember if I did. We'll have to go look. But I brought it up because I know recently I mentioned I think Dak could just end up right back in the top 5, and we're really overlooking it. We want to find we want to get the running back right. Well, but meanwhile, C.D. Lamb and George Pickens are on this team.
We did draft Dak.
Yeah.
There are a handful of quarterbacks that have been there before that are are available. Like Kyler's the same boat as Dak. They can both end up in the top 5.
But Dak is, I think every healthy season of Dak, he's produced for a top-level fantasy quarterback.
I'm going to take David Njoku in the 10th round here and grab what I think is a tier break at tight end. I have Njoku at 5, at tight end 5 in my rankings.
Dude, if it's Joe Flacco, which that is... Have you guys seen anything recently?
I've seen Pickett with a rapport with Jerry Jeudy.
Okay, well, I don't... actual any drum beat growing louder for someone besides Joe start for this team.
Yeah, I just think Njoku is too important. And now even more important maybe if your running game has been nerfed. So I'll take Njoku. Golden goes next. Roshan Tutin. Thank you. Herbert, Mooney, and Jason, your final 2 picks. You'll need a quarterback, one or the other.
Yeah, maybe. You don't tell me what I have to do. But yeah, I'm going to take a quarterback. I'm going to take Kyler.
You need to take a quarterback.
Yeah, I'm going to do that. Although it makes no sense to take this here because Owl has Joe Burrow. You can, by all means, take Kyler if you want to have 2 quarterbacks. So I feel like my team could use a wide receiver, And I don't know why it feels so gross to take this guy. It shouldn't. He is not bad. He is good, and I think he is.
Thank you for saying the opposite of bad.
These are the best picks.
These are.
Oh, man.
It's just like, I feel like
you're not even talking to our audience. You're looking at your reflection
This is
in
not
your
good.
laptop.
This is not bad.
I am talking to two humans, one to my left and one to my right, who have, I don't know, Michael Pittman is the
Michael
primary
Pittman
wide receiver.
Michael Pittman is a good
You don't
pick
have to
there.
defend a 10th round Michael Pittman pick.
Okay, good.
You're good. Just move on.
All right, I made it.
Producer Borland himself is on the clock. He's trying to find Devin Singletary in the rankings to be able to select him to go with Trashy and Scatterboo, but instead goes Luther Burden III.
I like that pick too.
Could be a sneaky pick there in the 10th round, and follows it up with Jack Besh. Couple of dart throws.
Come on, Jack Besh.
Couple of rookies.
I am a little disappointed that you didn't take Kyler just to screw with me. I was like, he's going to do it. He's going to do it.
It
But
crossed my mind.
You didn't, and so I will take Kyler.
Yep, Kyler in the 11th round. Your final pick, Jason. That is, that's as good a value as you can get if you have to draft him.
That's where, if I look back, I mean, I know I gave Joe Burrow to Owl, and he completed that stack, but having DK Metcalf there and then getting Kyler in, as the in the 11th round, I would prefer the path I took.
Well, Tajay Spears goes next, then Dowdle, Kincaid, Ray Davis, Dylan Sampson, and I took Quinshon Judkins with my final pick. I have Jerome Ford. If he comes back, that's just the smarter thing to do there. Jared Goff off the board next. Mike, it's time for you to select.
We are getting nasty, boys. I don't know if you just saw the latest report. It doesn't deserve a breaking news, but at least for training camp, new addition to the Chargers, Mike Williams, has been placed on the PUP list.
Has he ever been healthy, for goodness sakes?
So that is step one of my process. Step two, we talked about Trey Harris has not even signed, and he's not at camp. And there was a guy who we all made fun of and who quietly had a couple of good games. And I will take
Quentin
huge
Johnston. No, he has to be paid attention to.
He
really, really does.
We all, at least me and Jason, we wanted it to be Trey Harris. I want it to be him so badly because I think Harris is a good prospect, but he's not there. Mike Williams can't practice. Like these, I know we're early in the process.
And Josh
but
Palmer's
it
gone.
Matters. And yes, like Huge has to step up, which he started to do last year. Who knows? Who knows?
He will score. Like Quentin Johnston's going to score 6 to 8 touchdowns. Like that's happening.
Yeah,
I don't care how many
Herbert's
snaps he plays. He's going
too good,
He's going to score that many touchdowns. So Johnston.
And then the last two picks of the draft, one great, one ridiculous.
Okay, share those.
Trey Benson.
Nice. Connor can get hurt.
Connor can get hurt. And then Tyler Algier.
Oh, why would you even
There's
draft him?
no point when you know the starter's playing 17 games.
Oh, my goodness.
Sure, he's an incredibly valuable insurance running back.
Absolutely.
That should Bijan miss time, but that's impossible.
Right, unless he missed a flight or
maybe there's a family event.
Oh,
maybe
like a reunion,
like a paternity break.
Yeah, and he's got to take some time off. It won't be for injury.
This just in, Bijan hamstring strain in training camp.
Impossible.
No. That's not true, anybody. All right, my team, Derrick Henry, Joe Mixon, Jerome Ford, and Quinshon Judkins at running back. Ew. A.J. Brown, Rashee Rice, Jamison Williams, Jaden Reed, and Igbuka at wide receiver. I feel better about that. Mahomes at the quarterback spot, Njoku, late round, tight end.
My running backs are Bijan Robinson, Jonathan Taylor, Tony Pollard, and Jordan Mason. My wide receivers are T. Higgins, DK Metcalf, DJ Moore, Jaden Higgins, and Michael Pittman. And then I have the onesies with TJ Hawkinson and Kyler Murray.
I got Ashton, Genty, Kenneth Walker, J.K. Dobbins, Austin Eckler, Brian Thomas, Devontae Smith, Chris Olave, Josh Downs, Quentin Johnston, George Kittle, and Dak are at my onesies. And it's so thinking, looking back of like, do I like Chris Olave? I don't know. My running back depth is pretty shallow. So
that's how I feel about my team too.
So there is a chance. Let me just quickly look, like Aaron Jones, DeAndre Swift. Yeah, I think if you put Caleb Johnson or DeAndre Swift on my team instead of Olave, I probably feel a bit better.
As enticing as it was to just do the Mahomes-Rice experiment, I, in hindsight, would have definitely passed on Mahomes.
All right.
Just for the value in that round and grabbing, you guys ended up with Dak and Kyler late. I'm fine with those guys, fine with Baker, fine with Knicks. Mahomes has not been good for fantasy, and I might feel more locked in that situation putting the stack together than I want to with the way Mahomes has played, but at least I can try it out in the top of the season. So if you want to see the draft board in its entirety, you can go to the website, go to YouTube actually, and check it out on there. Either way, youtube.com/thefantasyfootballers.
It's somewhere.
You can go to the internet, type it in, type draft board, ballers show, just listen to.
Just type like ultimatedraftkit.com.
There you go.
That's a great URL.
All right, we'll be back on Thursday. We'll start up the NFC divisional breakdown episodes. Do not miss them. We'll talk to you soon.
Goodbye.
Thank you for listening to another episode of the Fantasy Footballers Podcast. Join our fantasy football community on jointhefoot.com and follow us on Twitter @TheFFBallers.